Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Whispers of the Rose Queen. These stories are works of art that comes from the heart, so sit back, relax, and let your imaginations run wild. Now, let's begin with the story. The Fable of the Foolish Golddigger and the Black Mambas. In the bustling, glittering city of Viridia, there lived a man named Calvin. Calvin was, by all accounts, a small man with grand delusions. For 3 years, he had maintained a lavish affair with a woman named Sallie, whose eyes shone only for the gleam of gold and whose heart beat only to the rhythm of a bank account's balance. Calvin, who was as useful as a chocolate teapot and as deep as a puddle, fed her fantasies of unimaginable wealth. He was, he whispered, a billionaire in disguise, a modest magnate waiting for the right moment to reveal his true empire. Sallie, a woman who could spot a discount diamond from a mile away but not a lie on the lips of her lover, believed every word. Their wedding day arrived, a spectacle Sallie had financed with credit, convinced her future was a vault of endless riches. In a moment of pure, petty folly, Calvin sent a wedding invitation to his ex-wife, Lisha. His motive was as shallow as he was. He wished to parade his new, young bride and humiliate the woman he'd left behind. It was, he would soon learn, like a mouse inviting 2 hawks to a cheese-tasting party. For Lisha had not faded away. She had flourished. After Calvin, she had married James, a notorious and formidable billionaire whose business acumen was matched only by his fierce devotion to his wife. James, incidentally, was also Calvin's boss, a fact Calvin had foolishly compartmentalized in his tiny mind. The wedding reception was in full, garish swing when the atmosphere shifted. The doors opened, and in walked Lisha on the arm of James. Lisha was a vision of elegant vengeance in a pine-green mermaid gown, embroidered with silver thread and adorned with genuine diamonds and emeralds that caught the light and seemed to whisper of real wealth. James, in a tailored suit that cost more than Calvin's car, looked every inch the king he was. Calvin's face drained of color, turning the shade of old cauliflower. Sallie's triumphant smile curdled into confusion, then rage, as she saw her new husband stunned, longing gaze fixed on his ex-wife. A plan, spider-silk thin and just as sticky, formed in Sallie's mind. She swanned over, demanding Lisha leave but suggesting James stay to celebrate. Her tone was sweet poison. Lisha and James did not flinch. They stood like ancient oaks, leaving Sallie to buzz around them impotently. Humiliated and unhinged, Sallie's composure shattered. She snatched a glass of wine from a nearby table and, with a shriek, hurled its contents directly into Lisha's face. The music died. A collective gasp froze the crowd. Red wine dripped from Lisha's chin onto her magnificent gown. James moved with a terrifying calm. He gently wiped his wife's face with a monogrammed handkerchief. Then, he slowly turned his gaze to Sallie, who was now laughing a brittle, hysterical laugh, and to Calvin, who stood as still and pale as a garden statue. A hellfire ignited in James's eyes. As he took a step forward, Lisha gently caught his arm. "James, please. Think." He touched her hand, his voice low and unwavering. "Lisha, you are my wife. If she disrespects you, she disrespects me. I do not negotiate with termites." Lisha, seeing the righteous fury in his eyes, nodded. James turned and walked toward Sallie, who was now cackling beside a gigantic bowl of dark, bloody red fruit punch. He took in her cheap, polyester gown, its diamonds glaringly fake. He rolled up his sleeves with deliberate slowness. What happened next was not elegant, but it was poetic. In one swift motion, James placed a hand on the back of Sallie's elaborately coiffed head and thrust it, face first, into the punch bowl. Her bubbling screams were muffled by the sugary liquid. As he released her, Sallie slipped on her own long, tacky veil. She flailed backwards, crashing into the main table. A towering wedding cake, layered with white chocolate and covered in plump strawberries, wobbled, then surrendered. It cascaded down upon her in a creamy, fruity avalanche, burying her in confectionery shame. She tried to rise, but her 12-inch heels skidded on buttercream frosting. "Calvin," she screeched, a cake topper dangling from her ear. "Defend me." But Calvin was a statue once more, staring at her with cold, clear eyes, finally seeing the grifter she was, and by reflection, the fool he was. All eyes were on him. He turned to James and Lisha, his voice a weak tremor. "What did you do that for? Why are you even here?" James adjusted his cufflinks, a master of understatement. "You invited us. You wished to humiliate my wife for sport. A reminder, I am the CEO of the company that signs your checks. And given this pageant of poor judgment, your professional fate now rests entirely in Lisha's hands." Calvin's panic was immediate and sweaty. He sputtered apologies, promises, pleas. It was too late. Lisha spoke, her voice as cold as polished marble. "You should never have sent that invitation, Calvin." She looked down at Sallie, a defeated creature smeared with ruined makeup, punch, and cake. Lisha walked over, plucked a single, perfect strawberry from the wreckage, took a deliberate bite, and tossed the remainder onto Sallie's chest. "Enjoy your wedding day," she said. "It was fun while it lasted." Then, arm in arm, James and Lisha walked out of the ruined reception, leaving a silence filled only with the drip of punch and the weight of disgrace. They departed like royalty, which they were, leaving the commoners to their mess. The epilogue was swift and karmic. That very night, Sallie discovered Calvin's billion-dollar empire was a fantasy built on credit card debt and bravado. Their honeymoon was spent at the St. Karma Motel, a roach-ridden establishment where they fought endlessly over money and the searing humiliation of their wedding. But worse was to come. James, true to his word, had Calvin fired by morning. Sallie's antics, captured on 100 smartphone videos, made her a trending topic of ridicule. Her reputation as a golddigger was cemented. No brand, no party, no person of substance would touch her. In the city's gossip, they became a cautionary tale. Sallie, the loud, venomous, cottonmouth, who struck without thought. And Calvin, her willing accomplice. They had chosen to attack the Black Mambas, James and Lisha, silent, powerful, and lethally efficient. The cottonmouth's head was bitten clean off, not with noise, but with decisive, elegant force. Meanwhile, James's company thrived, free of the petty scandal. With Lisha by his side, a partner in both love and strength, they remained a power couple whose very presence taught a simple, enduring lesson: life is not a game to be won by loud boasts and cheap tricks. True power is quiet. And before you act, especially from a place of spite, you must always, always think. For the universe has a funny way of serving punch, and justice, in the most unexpected bowls. That's the end of the story. Thank you, and kindly please leave a like, share, and subscribe.